Hello, my name is Blue and welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Minecraft thumbnail with no rendering experience. This method is a powerful tool replacement for rendering programs such as Blender and Cinema 4D and those high quality thumbnails. These programs have amazing 3D lighting and custom rigging, but this is a thumbnail. We'll work around that and use something that's free and easy. Remember that lighting is important. It changes how everything looks. It makes everything look plain to amazing. And it's the reason why shaders make a Minecraft look amazing. And remember not to add Play-Doh mouths and fingers anymore. They're horrible. Never mind. I also want to tell you something beforehand. Experiment. If you Google thumbnail tutorial or template or just Fortnite thumbnail even, they have no personality and they look the same. As well made as the original really was, you don't set yourself apart like this. Public service announcement over. Let's get into the tutorial. Now, to do this, we'll be using Nova Skin website as our rig replacer. Here you can find any skin and player skin with just a single search. You're even able to add things like shadows and outfits made by the community, like t-shirts and such. Anything that might help you keep to a theme you want in your mind for this thumbnail. And then you can bend and pose the rig as you see fit. And there's even an option to hold objects. But honestly, some are pretty huge, and I just recommend adding them in post by Googling them and adding PNG. Now you can head to photo and save that pose and skin as a PNG, and you're set. In a hurry, you can also head to wallpapers to get a rendered scene. You can search for your scene there and save the wallpaper with your skin placed inside, or skins, because some of these have multiple players in them. We'll also get rid of that watermark and make our adjustments later to make our actual thumbnail. I don't post this straight because that's just lazy. The next part is editing software. I'm going to be heading into Photoshop. Backgrounds are the first step, whether you choose a picture screenshot, pattern, or even both. Fixing your background is your first step. You should duplicate it and cut out your character with the pen tool if you have them on the same image. I mentioned that the replay mod is on screen there. It's a mod for Minecraft that introduces a theater mode, a wonderful tool for dynamic screenshots and thumbnails, like in PvP or such, to see that player that killed you or a shot you're about to make. But it's not what I need right now for this tutorial, so I'll move on with border options. They're important for drawing boxes and making your thumbnail recognizable. There are usually a lot of ways to go about this, but I'll have some options listed here. First, the black box method. Using a rectangle tool, I can make a black box and set it to a low opacity. That means making it disappear slightly, drawing attention towards the center without cutting out the background that I made. Next is the mirror, where I can duplicate the background and size it down to the same kind of effect that I have the black box at. You can meddle with this effect to some degrees by making different shapes. Next is a simple border with a stroke. It's powerful and it's recognizable. Setting it to whatever size, then duplicating that to make a slightly bigger one and putting it underneath that layer, you can make a border with whatever color and a stroke. And you can add glow, whatever you like, on either layer to make different effects for different thumbnails. The last thing I would try is a solid color and put the background small and in the middle. Then using Alt or Control or whatever program you're using to grab the corner and just move the edges as I see fit, making an awesome little effect that looks like the border is just weird and not there. Then I try and work on my character. Using a pink color overlay, I'm able to make characters look more alive in a scene, because sometimes I'll be given a character that doesn't have pink in the face or whatever. That will help me make it look friendlier. Sometimes I'll use a low opacity black brush after to add shadows in the body and face, but I won't be doing that right here since we're using a render. I'll add in an inner glow and or a drop shadow to add color and push out the character so it's more noticeable. The inner glow will allow it to look more bright against the background, and the drop shadow will do the same thing but make it look jutted out. If I didn't mention it before, you can also blur your background to draw more attention to your character. Next, I usually add my titles. I will usually make a place to put text and logo, etc., usually on the left side. With the rectangle tool again, I can make a place for that just now. I can make any sort of shape to put the text on, and even if you make it floating, just remember that if you zoom out, that you should be able to read it, because we're trying to make a thumbnail that's legible even on phones. Also remember to use different fonts. The same font line by line just looks bad. And then you can warp and arc your text to move them in a curve, and then I'll finish with blending options on the titles and logos. I usually make my own, but here I'll split the color with a gradient overlay by taking each corner, alt-clicking each color, and moving it towards the middle so that the gradient doesn't happen. And then to separate the text in the background, I can make use of strokes, glow, or drop shadow. I urge you to experiment with these, and even a color and hue overlay will make it easier to change the color. By this point, I'll be finishing up and I'll be googling effects, or making them with just the brush and shape tool for clickbait and such, placing everything as I need, and I'll even use the eraser and or mask tool depending on how I'm feeling to make 3D effects, like my arm reaching over the title or my legs behind and in front of the border to make it look like I'm walking out. And adding a black and white filter adds a somber tone, and you can even add an overall blue or white thing, but that moves farther into just uncatchy territory. It just looks all the same-ish. We don't want that. We want a big friendly thumbnail. Remember, if the thumbnail isn't legible and catchy zoomed out, then maybe you should try moving some things around, making your elements that you want to be seen larger. And remember that the YouTube thumbnail size is 720p, so even if you make a 4K thumbnail and you're somehow able to get it uploaded, it will be downscaled. So now you know how I make my thumbnails and how to make your own Minecraft thumbnails nice and proper. None of that dull and never mind, I'm getting worked up about that. If you learned something real good and this helped, leave a like and subscribe. It's just the rules, I didn't make them up. Every little bit helps me and makes me want to keep making videos like this one. If you want to join our little community, the best place to do so will be the Discord in the description. Well, that's it. See ya.